Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, I've been tracking temperatures all night long. Now, normally in the atmosphere, the higher you go up, the temperatures get colder, but it's not the case tonight. As you go up higher and higher, several thousand feet where the clouds are, the temperatures are actually getting warmer. So the clouds are now producing either light rain, mist, or drizzle rather than snow. But the problem is the temperature near the ground is still below freezing. So as that liquid comes down, it freezes into a glaze, and that is why we have some of that icing and black ice going on this evening, and that'll continue overnight, especially away from the coastline. Now, on live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar, it doesn't look like there's a lot of coverage, but sometimes the mist and the drizzle is so fine and small, the radar, it sees it, but doesn't really show up as well on the map, but it's out there. And then every now and then you get a slightly steadier rain shower. And again, with temperatures at or below freezing, it has been causing some slippery travel, at least on some of these untreated surfaces. So weather headlines, obviously the snow is gone, but the freezing drizzle and mist will continue this evening and right on through the overnight. That means that light icy glaze overnight through at least early tomorrow morning. So I would exercise some caution if you're leaving early tomorrow morning, especially away from the coastline as far as any icing and a very active weather pattern setting up for this week. I have temperatures in the 50s, even though it's icy right now. Some strong wind, some rain down the road, then more snow. That's all in a 7-day period. So the 7-day Futurecast, hold on. It's rather interesting. But freezing drizzle in downtown Providence right now. It's not extremely cold, but temperatures are at or just below the freezing mark. The exception, Block Island, near the ocean, the coastline. It's a little warmer right now, but most spots away from the coast in the upper 20s to low 30s, especially in our northern suburbs where the colder air is located right now. As we widen out the view, this whole weather system will be pushing offshore tomorrow morning, but we'll be left with cloudy and damp conditions, especially early in the morning, and with temperatures near the freezing mark very early, still some icing. Here's the situation. Starting off right now, draw your attention, especially in our northern suburbs. Look, all night long into early tomorrow morning, this is 6 a.m., it's in the upper 20s, so any mist that's coming down still would create some icing away from the coastline. Near the shoreline, I mean, it's still cold, perhaps not quite as cold. Temperatures in the lower 30s. It takes until about mid-morning, early afternoon for the temperatures to finally get above freezing, mid and upper 30s, and then they'll fall back below freezing later tomorrow night. So your Futurecast for this evening and overnight showing the freezing drizzle and mist continuing along with that icing. Temperatures upper 20s to lower 30s. Tomorrow morning, a cloudy and damp start. Some slippery spots, especially across interior sections with some of that glaze. And then during the afternoon, we'll keep the clouds, but at least we get temperatures above freezing in the upper 30s. So as chilly as it is right now, well, first let me show you tomorrow in more detail. Early in the morning, 32. By afternoon, in the upper 30s under mainly cloudy skies. And as icy as it is right now, look at Wednesday, 56 degrees, almost like spring fever here. However, there's a downside. Very windy on Wednesday. I do expect some rain showers. In fact, very heavy rain coming up on Wednesday night with that warm up. It cools off, it dries off on Thursday. The colder air returns on Friday. The reality check sets back in. Much colder weather settling in starting actually Thursday night into Friday. It will extend through the weekend. Chilly temperatures, so that the next weather system that approaches this weekend on Sunday would be in the form of some light snow and temperatures in the mid-30s. But the main concern now through about 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, especially away from the coastline, is some of that very light glazing. All it takes is just a thin coating to create a lot of problems, so be careful.
No kidding, that's right.
Thanks, Tony.